Guys, getting into a home loan can be an extremely difficult and overwhelming process, right? And that's why we partnered with Kirsten Ballew here at Discussion Combustion Podcast. She has the top-notch expertise to get you into the home that you want and that you're looking for, right? This is a difficult process start to finish. We know this. A lot going on. The market's constantly changing, and that's why we partnered up with her. She has the expertise, guys. She's going to walk you through it step by step.
So go ahead and check out the link in our show notes below. Once you go there, make sure to mention Discussion Combustion, and that will save you $500 on your closing costs.
We'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado, this is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
That's how podcasts should be. I'll tell you this, man. 168 episodes in. This is the first time that we've had another Kevin on the show other than myself.
It's good to be here,
Oh, yeah, brother. Thanks for coming down, man, on such short notice, too.
Right.
I mean,
we met Saturday. Quick. I was even busy. I wasn't even, we're just in a rush, I guess. We just met there. And that's what I'm talking about, this is the energy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's, I think that it kind of reminds us of, you never know who you're going to meet, when it's going to happen, what the opportunities could be, right? Yeah. We're hanging out at one of my favorite places ever, Perfect Landing. Our boy Kev works over there. We're chilling. We're nursing a hangover, having some Bloody Marys. We're handing out some stickers. He's like, hell yeah, man, I dig this shit. And we booked him in immediately.
Right.
Here you are, man. Appreciate you cruising down and bringing us some drinks.
Good, you know it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm here for.
Kevin came prepared. And, our listeners know this, and we told this to you too, but as far as being a guest on Discussion Combustion, it's all about energy, right? Does the person have a good energy? And you can sense energy extremely quickly.
Right.
I mean, even when you're working and shit,
right.
You could probably pick up pretty quick, is this person going to be respectful to me or not, or treat me like a human being?
True, that's true. It's I feel you on that. Basically, whenever I go up to tables, since I bartend, I serve, so it's I go up to the table, I only have so much time that it's that first impression has to be everything. So even, I got to leave my energy every second I'm there. Maybe I'm there 30 seconds just asking if you want something to drink. They got to notice that,
Mm-hmm.
That's what people take notes. It's oh, this guy was good. This guy took care of me, And that's, what makes me above somebody that doesn't give out that energy when you go up to people, or maybe they're not feeling themselves at that moment, and then people perceive that. So, I try to keep it always 100.
Goes a long way, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially on first impressions, right? I mean, in that scenario, you got guys coming off a plane, you got guys like us coming in that are hungover.
Literally.
I mean, that first interaction is going to tell you everything you need to know about what's about to happen.
What's
right?
about to happen.
How is this person approaching me? How educated are they on what the menu's looking like?
Right.
We had a gentleman on named Constantine a couple weeks ago who works over at the View House, not too far from.
Oh, I worked there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did the Centennial one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I started there. I think I was 19 or 18. I worked there, and then I was trying to be. Oh no, I wasn't 18. I was 17 because they didn't let me bartend because I wasn't 18. Mm-hmm. So that's where I was trying to get my first bartending gig.
Yeah.
And then they were like, you know what? We want you to learn. We want you to be here. So we'll get you in the bar back. So I was there, cleaning glasses and But I learned. I took notes. I was like, this alcohol goes here. This goes here. And then, it always builds up. It always builds up. Ends up being a reward for me, I guess.
Yeah, repetition is a mother of skill. And so when it comes to the laws on all that, because I always get confused.
Yeah.
18, you can serve alcohol.
Right.
Which is interesting to me.
Yeah, you can serve alcohol.
Because you can't drink it.
You can't drink it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I was really limited when I was coming up, because I felt like I was already able to do what most of the people that I was working with were able to do. But I just didn't have the H. I just,
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't able to. I had the, maybe I had personality. Maybe I had good service. But it didn't matter because I wasn't able to. People were like, yeah, you're good, this and that. But we're going to keep you on that level. You're not. And it pissed me off, because it was I want to make as much money as these guys are doing. Why? If I'm able to do it, why can't I make that much money? I'm making this, hourly job right now, So it was never enough for me.
But it kind of ignited a fire a little bit. You're like, well, I want to take the bull by the horns here. I can do this, and I'm going to do it.
Literally, it's like something that motivates me. I see how you say that, like, ignites the fire. It's like, I'm pissed off because these guys, you know, maybe they're not treating them good, or they're not, you know, maybe I felt like I was good, but I wasn't there yet. So, you know, totally, it always switches up.
Well, I mean, that's something that we got to deal with while working to grow ourselves professionally, right? We all live in society. This is obvious. We all need to make an income in order to survive and get by. And when you start taking on actual accountability and responsibility for your life, like car payments,
Right.
like electricity, and you're not skating on that one credit card bill, like you're paying it off, then you realize like the money goes quick.
Yeah.
And it's difficult when you're in that kind of position and you don't feel like you can provide for yourself, right? So even though you're working your ass off, because I've been there too, where like, you know, I was doing roofing or like window replacements, some kind of construction.
You're like, I'm busting my ass.
Yeah, working my ass off, and however, I'm not really getting paid quite enough.
What I feel like I deserve.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've all felt that at some time or another in our professional careers, right? I mean, everyone's got to start somewhere, and you know, it all comes down to how far do you want to go with it? Are you just looking to like check the boxes and do entry level stuff,
Right?
Or you know, are you actually trying to move up a little bit? And it doesn't matter what field you're in, right? That can apply to a lot of different things. Maybe you're in software engineering, maybe you're in the food industry.
Mentality, right? It's like, where do you want to be? What did you say? Beginning? What did you say? You used the word.
Yeah, entry level.
Entry level payment. Then you're gonna get that. Well, you have the entry level skill, so you're gonna get entry level payment. So it's like
You got to start somewhere.
right. And then it's like, it's your knowledge. It's basically what you know, what you're getting paid for. And then if you don't know shit, then you're not getting paid.
That's it, man.
So here's one thing I have to say about this, and I'm going to kind of skate around individuals that I know. However, I'm going to talk about a mentality that's extremely unhealthy. And this is the mentality of like, okay, this job is beneath my skill level, so
I'm not gonna try.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try. Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. So if you do have a good work ethic, you need to go ahead and apply that work ethic, even at the jobs where you feel like are beneath you, and you're getting it done. Because here's the thing: if you are consistent with your work ethic and you are definitive, it's wherever you go, right? So you'll end up being in a management position at those other places where you think like, I shouldn't really be working here.
Right.
I'm going to give it my all regardless. And then in 6 months, you're a manager.
Right.
You know, so it's like, just because you feel like something could be beneath you as far as your skill level or whatever you do, you still have to show up with the same consistency in yourself. Like, right. I'm going to give this my all, even though if this is not my everything, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that, because like, if you say that, you know, that job or whatever you're doing is not on your skill, it was too low for you, then why aren't you overperforming?
Couldn't be better said, man. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, I say every week in different forms of fashions, people do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure, which translates to complacency and entitlement, right? So many folks are like, oh, you know, I have this job that I applied for, I got accepted for, but now I'm going to goof off and not
try,
not excel, not even apply myself.
First
to
week
it.
Was good.
Yeah.
I
mean,
it is.
We see it a lot.
It is like that. I see people, you know, come in, they get comfortable.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Complacent.
Yeah, complacent. Then you're like, maybe next week I don't want to walk that fast, or I'm not going to offer this. I'm not going to offer another drink. Like, why would I walk back, you know? That's the mentality you don't want to have. It's like, you know, a lot of my coworkers, I like that. You know, I can't even put fingers on it, but I will.
Yeah. That entitled mindset, man, you know, I was thinking to myself, like, how did we get here? How did we end up in this position? And obviously we've hit on social media. There's a lot of contributing factors to why the overall work ethic has declined. You know, people complain that they don't have money or they don't have the availability to do things, but then they're bitch moaning and complaining about the current position that they're in, and they're not doing anything about it.
Right. Why are you bitching at work if you need that work for your life? And it's like,
it's almost counterproductive a little bit.
Yeah. Actually, like I think it was the day before I met you guys. We had like a staff meeting.
Okay.
It was pretty serious, you know. I got pointed at first, talking about it doesn't make up for the times you fucked up in the past, you know. And me, you know, in the past, it means when I was fucking 21 years old, you know, some shit I make mistakes, right? And
Everybody
then
does.
we got grown at. Well, I'm the youngest at work, so you know
Okay.
it changes things. Either way, he started off with me, and then he went over to everybody else. And then he's like, "You guys know what? We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear you guys complain. We don't want to hear anything. We just want to, you know, if you're not happy, like, the door is right there, you know? You don't have to be here. You don't have to bitch or moan either, you know? It's like, if you're here, it's because you want it. If not, like my manager says, either you're in or you're out. So, you know, that's how
true.
it goes.
That's true. I mean, it sounds simple, but it carries a lot of weight. You know, and I think a lot of folks lose touch with that a little bit. Again, COVID didn't help that during the pandemic times when folks were working from home and you know the on-premise stuff got shut down. People got very complacent and they said, you know what, I don't need to do a whole lot.
I was like, I can rest home. I get a check in the mail, and then I can just use my phone and order things to come to my house. I don't have to leave. I'm good. We're good.
And look at the
I can live like this.
And the long-term effects from that, I think we're seeing now, right? That's kind of spilled back over into things opening up again and people being like, I got complacent in that lifestyle of staying indoors, watching Netflix, having my DoorDash.
It's like,
Who-
I watch every
all
show.
fun.
Right?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers didn't do shit.
It's good fun, but it's time to get back to it. It's time for people to start, you know, getting back to work, you know,
Yeah.
and wanting to work. I mean, we hear that all the time. Customer service out the window. I pulled up to a Taco Bell a couple weeks ago. They had to close at 2:30 because no one was there to work.
Oh, shit.
You walk into a King Soopers. I was talking to my dad earlier. He said they closed the deli down because everybody called out from the deli. No one's working. No one wants to go into work, and I understand it, right? Everyone's bitch moaning and complaining about, I don't make enough money in this position. Well, then do something different. Right? Make a change. But if you agree to a position and you sign the deal, that's what it is.
Right. It's like, I want my Canadian bacon. Nah, I'm just joking. Nah, but really, no, even those simple jobs are necessary. I mean, seriously, what would we do without the trash guy? You know,
Exactly.
What would we do? These simple jobs, and they're not even getting paid much. You know,
I
let's go
always-
with teachers.
Yeah.
Even worse, they don't get paid. And I wouldn't give a fuck if I was a teacher. I would be like,
I think-
yeah, you can leave my class. I don't care. You know? I'm not gonna hear you talk over me or whatever it is. I'm
Yeah.
not there for that.
No, I would agree with you there, man. When it comes to the education system, these teachers are not paid well. I mean, and the same with the police officers, too. These guys are out there, on the front lines taking some bullshit, dealing with shootings, all this kind of
Getting
stuff.
40 grand a year and type of shit.
I mean, ridiculous.
Yeah.
In this economy with inflation and with home prices, how the hell do you make a living on that?
Right.
You
And
know?
that's what they say. Like, how is somebody, somebody that's gonna just move in here? Let's say me. I moved to Montana. Oh, well, I don't have anything. I don't have anybody here. I'll just sign up for the McDonald's. Boom. Now what? $9 an hour? I don't even know what it is. But either way, I pay $9 for my lunch. I go get gas, $40 a week. Then I have, it's not enough. It's not enough.
It's not enough. So that's where you got to make the hard decisions, right? Because, I mean, we know inflation's happening, and how are we going to hedge against inflation? Well, I mean, it's going to come down to the individual, right? Gaining that experience, sometimes it's going to be tough. Maybe you got to put a year or two in at the McDonald's or whatever it is, and then move up from
grow.
there. I've learned these, and then put yourself out there. You never know what opportunity is going to come your way,
true.
right? You just never know.
Yeah.
So I think to encapsulate what we're talking about, the general mindset of complacency when it comes to employment, just put yourself out there, man. Take those experiences, right? And I'm speaking to the viewers here. Take the people that are saying, I hate my job, I don't make enough money. Well, maybe you've been in that position long enough now where you can take that and make lateral moves and
now
jump around.
That's what I'm saying. Now you have the one. Now you point. Now you say,
Yeah.
Like, it's up to everybody. And then you can't just, assume somebody's going to bring you in or drag you into something that you want. It's like, bro, I got to put myself in that situation. How about I move these puzzle pieces and then we get going somewhere, It's like, it doesn't happen by magic. Like, you got to make it happen.
Yeah, we
100%.
talk about it all the time, man.
I think I heard
All
you
the
guys
time.
too, yeah.
I mean, look, and these are life lessons that should be constantly echoing within your mind, right? Like, nothing that's worth it comes easy. you always have to do things you don't want to do to get to where you want to be.
Sacrifice versus winning.
And so what is it? What is it that fails in people when they're applying for a new job? They're super excited for the opportunity. Their first day comes, right? And they fucking have their lunch pre-packed. They got their clothes picked out.
You already have your clothes.
Yeah,
the day
they got
before.
it all picked out the night before, and then all of a sudden, like, they're at that job, and I'm guilty of this too. But you know, you're there 2 months, and then all of a sudden, like, you're figuring out, you know, what you're gonna have for lunch. Once lunch starts, you don't even know what the fuck you're gonna wear until that morning of. Like, your preparedness falls. Like, what is it that causes that?
It's the discipline, right? It falls. You're talking about the discipline that you had, or you know, maybe the excitement that you had, or that little spark that, you know, you didn't have before when you had that job. Because, you know, it's like a movie, you know, you get new characters, new setting, new theme, and it's like, now, you know, you're excited, you're in a new environment. Then it goes by 2 weeks, here's the first paycheck.
Okay.
You know, or no, I'm not saying that. You know, maybe you feel like you deserve more.
Yeah.
It's not that it was too or not enough, or, you know.
Well, I mean, we all know what we sign up for, but it's like, you know, look, all right, I'll just be frank with this. Like, every company, every personally owned business, all those employers want their employees to be fully bought in, so they could get the most juice out of the squeeze.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so they try to squeeze us all. Everyone's going to try to squeeze us all for all of our juice.
And
like,
then this is what happens. When the juice is all squeezed up, you're like a fucking drier than the Sahara right here. And then you're like, oh, let's buy him a pizza. And he can keep squeezing.
Is that pizza?
Right? Pizza party and keep squeezing.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's like small rewards cause you, you know, to, you know, or at least managers or things like that, they think small rewards, they're going to replace, you know, maybe the money or maybe the shifts.
So here's one thing that I need to talk about while we're on this, is we have a culture in America. It might be world round, but I'm not too sure. I know for sure in America. But people are afraid, or not afraid, but they are concealed with their income amount. Like, for some reason in America, there's been this norm that has been created where it's like, oh, well, we don't talk how much we make with our coworkers.
Right. That's what it is.
Why is that? Why can't we talk? Why is that socially unacceptable? To talk to my coworker, my counterpart, who I do the same job as, why is it socially unacceptable for me to be like, how much do you make?
I make this, and how do you make?
So I feel like we need to break that norm as a country.
Collective.
Yeah, and as an individual, you go to work to make money, so why would you ever be afraid to talk about money?
Yeah.
It's because the upper ups don't want people to understand that certain people are getting paid more doing the same work based on whatever experience. And so it's
maybe
like,
you just been there 2 more years.
Yeah. So let's normalize talking about income tactfully with our coworkers. We're not doing it in a way to be like, oh, I make more than you. No, it's an educational thing. Like, oh, I'm making this amount. Oh, you're making that amount. Well, that's kind of odd, you know?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think there's a fine line there too, because some people do like to brag about their income, right?
All right, yeah.
Oh, I make this when you're making that, and it's like, that's cool, man.
Right.
You know, you just kind of write that off, and then people get discouraged, like, well, why is this guy making more than me for doing less work and all that type of stuff? But again, we talked about this earlier, it's climbing that ladder a little bit. You know, there's the paying your dues piece that comes in. I feel like, you know, we all started at the bottom. Right? So maybe this guy does have, you know, you see it all the time in job descriptions. Depends on experience. DOE on the pay rate. Right. If you're entry level, we'll start you here. You coming in out of the gate with a guy that knows what the heck's going on, we'll start you here. Right. And that's just the way it goes. It's a free market, right? Mm-hmm. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. It's about what you know, literally. Too much.
Well, and you got to show up, though, too. Like, you know, I can't show up and be entry level at a position. Like, I'll just use construction as an example, right? Because it took me a while to...
You're like, that's where I busted my ass.
To perfect how to swing the hammer and shit. Like, I'm sorry, that dude can swing a hammer way better than me.
Faster, yeah.
But once you get to that level, it's like, okay, like, now that I've done my training, like, you know, what are you making for what you do type of thing. And then if it's a respectful person, then they'll probably be like, well, I make this amount. And then that's like, okay, well, that's something I can work towards. You know, I can that income would help. You know, so let's just normalize talking about what we make. And I've seen on some of this Reddit shit, like where
people posting what they make. There's like I seen like companies tell employees they can't share, and then
exactly
the
where I was
employees
gonna say.
go and make a list. They're like, you know, Kevin, 200, whatever. Kevin, 300, and then Art, 250, and then everybody's looking at that, and it's like they can't. If they take that shit down, that's kind of illegal. I mean, I think it's illegal.
Well,
right?
I mean, you should
They shouldn't
legally, unless if this is such a stickler company that somewhere in your contract that legally binds you because you signed it,
Like an Amazon.
saying that you are not allowed to talk about your wage to coworkers. Like, and if a company has that within their contract, like, they're shady as fuck
That's
anyway.
toxic.
Well, but again,
Why would
like,
you sign up?
yeah, exactly. But like you said, to your point, Art, I mean, if you sign that dotted line, yeah, you made the agreement to it.
You're
I mean,
in.
how many of us truly read it A to B? Not
No,
many,
no, I
including
don't
myself.
do it.
I skip a lot of terms and conditions. I mean, if it's something that's going to impact me directly, like an employment situation, I'm going to try to read as much of it as I can, of course. But one of the things I wanted to echo on, too, was what I just kind of noticed about the three of us is when it comes to when you listen to a lot of successful people, and they all start in similar industries to where we all came from, right? The service industry, construction, the grocery business, retail. That's kind of, I mean, I don't know if you did that before the service industry, but those industries create success because you learn so many skills. Customer service, right? Dealing with angry people, problem solving.
How do you go through your day, you know, after something bad happens?
Yep.
How do you live with that person that's really good to you, you know? How just everything. I feel like me too, you know. I worked at the chicken spot. I worked at Church's Chicken when I was like 14. So that was my first, you know, job, I guess. And that's where we go to, you know, me trying to overperform, you know. I was like, this shit is weak. It's like not enough for me. I need more. You know, that was my thing, you know. You want all it was a memorized fucking script. You want original or spicy?
Yeah.
You want legs or thighs? You know, it's like, bro, this is entry level.
And you keep building on it, right? I mean, you find out what you want, but find out what you don't want. You know, when I was 14, I started bagging groceries. That was my first gig in a small mom and pop grocery store, and I was in the grocery business for over 15 years. I mean, that's what I stuck to, and I kept moving up to distribution and to management and all that kind of stuff. Right. And then I was like, okay, let's make lateral moves. But the fact remains, all of us kind of came from that and said, hey, that's cool. You learn these skills, and then you just keep building on it. Right. Whereas a lot of folks, they build and then they just settle right here, and they go, oh, I fucking hate where I'm at. You know, how do I get to here? Well, I'm not. They don't want to do that. I'm
not going to risk it.
They just want to stay right in this zone.
Yeah, they're like, I'm not risking it. You know, complacency. Complacency. Look, everybody knows how I feel about that. You can tell how I feel about that just by that one sentence. Like, look, if you're not fucking really challenging yourself, like, you know how often on a week I do something that I don't want to do?
Right.
Like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it,
Right.
and I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna get it done, man. And that is the type of mentality that opportunities will just start creating themselves around you, like, because you're doing everything you need to do, you know.
How's that over there?
That's pretty good, man. Yeah, I mean,
the pink lemonade.
yeah, not bad. It's not too sweet. That's always kind of my first go-to.
Hold it up, Kev.
Well, again, I work in the booze business, so I don't want to contradict what I do in the daytime. But
Okay, that's respectable.
but yeah, not bad, man. I appreciate you bringing those down. And yeah, man, it's.
You want the watermelon? You got the watermelon.
You gonna give it a go, Art?
I'm not. No, I'm drinking these.
taste,
I'm
dog.
drinking these beers right now. I'll try. We'll leave this in here. I'll try it another night.
I always appreciate when
Looks
guests bring
good,
some
though.
stuff down, though. You know, it's always fun to try different stuff.
I'm like, man, I'm around alcohol just 24/7, man. It's just hard.
You know what? I love
It is.
I love that spot, though, man. How long you been at the Perfect Landing?
So I started right before the pandemic.
Oh, okay. So you've been there a minute.
Right. And you know, after we started wearing masks, I was just like, bro, I don't You know, it's already not too much, not like a bigger spot. You know, like so it was more like you get, you know, we already have like 6 tables each if I'm ever serving, and then it's like 5 other people with 6 tables. So it's like when COVID came, it was like one table sat and the other one was empty. One table sat and the other one was empty. So I was just there like, you know, maybe I'll make this bare minimum, and then I might be able to buy this, you know, PlayStation 5 later. And then next thing you know, we're on quarantine, so
Yeah.
I don't have shit. And then we get back to it again, and it's like really weird because people don't know what's right or what's wrong, and I'm just going with it. Really didn't care back then. I was, you know,
Just riding the wave.
yeah, I didn't really care.
I think that's what a lot of folks did. I mean, I think there was a lot of fear out there. You know, we were all impacted by that in one form,
Right.
fashion, or another. But, you know, the on-premise, you know, restaurants and bars definitely saw it the worst.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just
It
completely
was-
shut down.
Yeah, that shit was terrible. I mean, tell me, it was 2 of us on Friday, and, you know, now we get, I mean, I can't be with 2 people on a Friday. It's like, I can't. And, but back then I was by myself, just with that guy. And then I go up to the door, like, oh, how many of us? And then she gets a call, or she was going to go, please give me a second. My business is falling. I don't know what's going on. And I just saw the face of like panic. And then, cause she was in there, she was about to have, you know, a 12 people event. She was gonna, you know, have a good time. And the next thing you know, they call her that, you know, she can make a shipment or this and that. She's like the owner of a business, and COVID just hit. And then I was at the door, and this happened. This was the first time I noticed that shit was going balls to the wall. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, this can't happen. I'm just gonna, you know, what's going on? Then I started like looking it up, and that same day we closed our doors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Had to shut it down, huh?
Yeah.
That was probably
and
around like March or April of
Mar-
2020.
I don't remember what the fuck it was.
It was. I feel like it was March 16th.
That's about when we shut down for a
Yeah,
bit.
you're specific over here. Yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
definitely
yeah.
a time that stood out to all of us. I mean, we
Yeah.
touched on the
You
pandemic.
know, it was like
crazy.
that, and then it was like a switch. I was just like, "What do you mean, my business?" Then, whoa, I don't have a job.
No one was prepared for it.
I don't have a job. Now what? And then the owner of the restaurant, he's like, you know, every Sunday we're gonna have food, and then we're gonna give you guys a drink with that, and then come in, just sign up your family, tell us how many, come to the restaurant, and then I'm paying these guys to cook for you, and then you can come and have free food.
That's legit.
I was like, I respect that. I respect that because you can't give me a job. There's no people outside.
Yeah.
This is that's what he said. That's the least I can do. So
Yeah, because I mean, even the air travel, because I mean, a lot of your business is obviously folks coming in and out of air travel, right? Even that was still obviously happening and operating. 'cause
imagine the
that's
people
essential.
that just had to travel and then they didn't have any passengers, or they got there like nothing's open.
Yeah. I don't know, man. What are we, 2.5 years past
In-
the shit now? I mean, the listeners know my position. I think it's all bullshit.
Motherfuckers say that people that don't have the vaccine are the same, like, you know, as people that have the vaccine. So
I'm glad you brought that up because, like we talked about off mic, I was going to talk about this tonight.
Yeah, we did.
And everyone already knows where I've stood on. I've said it since day one. You know, I respect everyone's decision to put whatever they want in their body. I put alcohol in my body every day. That's my decision,
I
right?
smoke a J a day.
Smoke a joint, whatever the hell you want to do, right?
Right.
The second you start telling
Like-
people what to do, you can fuck off.
Now you're the bad guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so the CDC comes out, right, quietly, and says that unvaccinated individuals like myself, proudly, cut that camera to me, Art, proudly unvaccinated, I will never take
Proudly.
that fucking bullshit, are now treated the same as vaccinated individuals.
Dude.
They now qualify. This is the CDC, guys, the Center of Disease Control. That fucking put all this panic and this fear in your minds.
And just like that.
And all of a sudden, 2.5 years later, we are now
We're the
treated
same.
the same as people that have had 7 fucking shots.
What
does that tell you guys?
I don't trust shit.
They
I don't trust it,
played
man.
us, bro. They played me.
It's
I was
fucking
like,
bullshit.
I don't trust
And
it.
they owe every one of us unvaccinated people an apology.
And what pisses me off more is that they pissed off my family, not even me. Like, you know, they made my family go out of the way, fucking use hand sanitizer every time they fucking saw somebody else. Like, this is what the fuck.
When it's fear mongering, like
right.
and
It's like fear you put in people.
This goes back. It goes way back because even in the earliest of societies, everybody knew that you can you could kind of control the populace on fear. And we've never seen an example. Well, I've never seen an example like that play out in my lifetime, like this pandemic. And Kevin, even though you've taken some firm positions there, I agree with where you're coming from. I respect where you're coming from. Like, I don't normally ever get a flu vaccine, and when I would get those, then I would get sick. Like, if it wasn't for the family, my ex-girlfriend and my parents too, like being avidly concerned about getting COVID and playing into the fear mongering, I would have never gotten a shot either.
I wouldn't have gotten into that
so like,
fucking whole situation. Like, you guys made this happen for my family, and they believe it. They see it. They believe it. They,
it's too powerful.
Put 2 masks on now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The fuck? Can't breathe. What are you talking about?
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, so now that the government's had its opportunity to create a population control and they saw success from their effort and people are still scared and worried about this shit, like it's just one of those things where it's like, sure, you want to trust modern medicine and things of that nature, but then I fucking find out recently within the last month that 2 of the main scientists behind Alzheimer's research were deliberately lying about all of their findings and wasted millions of dollars in fucking money. 2 people were fucking whistleblown on this shit for Alzheimer's, and they were completely deliberately giving false information for the scientific community. So it's like, okay, sure, we don't all want to be conspiracists, and we don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole, but can we really trust anything that the media says? Can we?
And that's where it goes with media, right? It's like, anything you guys say, we're going to buy it. It's already in front of us, so we're just going to turn it on, and then we consume it. So that's what it is.
It's toxic, man.
Yeah.
I have so much to say on this, and I want to stay a little bit reserved because Art knows off mic, I get very, very upset about this topic, just because I think when it comes down to the fact that you don't know what to believe and what to trust, I think that's where we've really driven a wedge into a difficult position, because I got so many great friends that believe 100% opposite where I'm at, or they'll send me articles that are peer-reviewed, and I just want to touch on that peer-reviewed topic real quick.
Who is peer-reviewing it?
Exactly. At first, it was like, oh, it's peer-reviewed, but let's really break down what that means, right? Peer-reviewed.
Do I have to look up this guy too?
Right. If I wrote a paper about something, and I'm nobody, I'm just Kevin Badstone, an alcoholic, fucking whatever. I'm nobody. But maybe I did have some degrees, and I'm a scientist, and I have all this stuff. I got all these credentials behind me.
You got
I have
background.
a name. And I write a paper that's talking about the shit I'm talking about right now. And my peers that believe the same as me, that are also credible, right, also have degrees. 10 of my friends that have these credentials, they read the paper. It's now peer-reviewed. That is now taken as science. It's fact. Boom. It's been fact-checked by people that believe the same shit. So I just want to expose that loophole there a little bit. And I know there's some people that are not going to be real happy with me saying that.
True.
And that's fine. I'm used to it. That's just, look, I think we got to look at this thing with a critical eye, guys. 2.5 years in, I understand the fear. I'm going to be the first to admit I was scared when it first happened, but I took a stand on day one. I would never get vaccinated, no matter how crazy this thing got. If it took me out, great. I wasn't going to fucking get a jab against it.
My uncle.
Yeah?
Motherfucker said, if I die, I die. Like, this is my last day. I don't have anything to lose.
If it kills me, it kills me.
If it kills me, it kills me.
And then people are like, oh, well, you're putting other people at risk and all this stuff. And look, guys, I'm going to be passionate about this because the CDC flat out came out and said, now I am the same as people that have had boosters, all their shots, everything. So I'm just going to call you motherfuckers out and say, you owe me an apology. That's what I'm going to say.
Gosh. All right. I don't know if people owe anybody anything.
100%. The shit that I have fucking received.
Yeah. Well, they could at least say, maybe they don't need to apologize.
You were wrong. That's all I'm going to tell you. You were wrong.
They could say that
and
they're
you
wrong.
bought into the fear, and that's on you.
You were wrong.
But this is me, and it's always going to be me.
And look, I respect that. And here, I mean, look, all this shit with the media, it's bullshit. Okay.
Yeah.
Like same with like they feed us all this bot shit. Like so
Just anything though. Like
yeah.
I feel like media in general.
take it, Kevin.
Like misinformation, bro. Like just come on now. Like you can say anything. Like he said, it's my opinion. But I have a background, so I have a degree in science and biology. Now I sound legit. So people are like, oh, this is right. But it's just my opinion. So that's what he was getting at. I feel like that's what it is. It's like, bro, I can talk on Twitter all I want. There's no facts being said.
Yeah.
But
it's so true. And you know, it's funny because as the pandemic progressed and different news came out and the facts changed, it was funny how the populace almost conformed to these new ideals and thoughts. Like, oh, okay, now I need to do it this way. And so I'll give you some credit, Kev. Being firm within your own thought process and sticking it through, like that deserves respect.
Because I couldn't do it.
It really does, man. And even I was susceptible. Like I got vaccinated, but still I didn't have to. And then I could have just been not hugged my mom for several years or whatever. But like I was weak in that area. But however,
I wouldn't say weak. I don't know if that's the right word.
Really?
I was susceptible. I was susceptible.
I was guided.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look,
Misguided,
I had
guided.
some motivations there. However, I did get COVID, and I lost my sense of smell, and like all this other shit. I'm not getting a fucking booster. Like, I got played by the fear mongering in media, and I just like everybody. However, I feel like I see that now, and I'm not going too deep in the rabbit hole by even saying this, but sometimes we just got to trust our intuition, and I feel like there's a lot of backdoor deals happening during this entire exchange of population control. I mean, look how much money the Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, all these companies made. They made so much fucking money off this. Who is controlling these? Like, and then so there's that whole
Right, what's in there?
Yeah, so it's
I never knew. I was just
suspicious. It is suspicious.
It's very suspicious, and I think that everybody should be on guard. And again, I know that I sound like an ignorant asshole, and I am.
Or just like like I'm. Yeah.
No, I
Theorist.
wouldn't say you sound like an ignorant asshole. I would say that you sound like a firm believer in
Of
your
what
beliefs.
you
Yeah,
believe.
Sure.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to
True
look at
self.
things through both lenses because I can see how this thing could be perceived. But what I'm seeing is a pattern starting to develop, right? So we come out of COVID, we have all of these variants starting to develop, and you
And now
need
we
to get
got
boosted.
monkeypox.
And that's
Something else to scare us
you're-
with.
That's
you're
what I
reading
was
me.
saying. I'm like,
Now it's
Monkeypox.
monkeypox, right?
Huh.
Now it's monkeypox, which originally when it came out was basically said it was an STD, right?
people
That's
said that it was contagious. Yeah.
and
Something
now-
like that.
And then it turned into close
Gay
contact.
butt sex is how it's being transmitted. That's what they were saying.
Homosexual
in
activity.
the very beginning. Yeah.
Yep.
Motherfuckers didn't know what it was, honestly.
Yeah.
They
But-
just blamed it on anything.
I think yeah, I don't know, man. It's just one of those deals that I think that this is the world we live in now. But a lot of people, you go back to 2020 when this thing first happened versus now, a lot of people have lost a lot of trust in the media, in scientists, in doctors, in big pharma, right? Because at the end of the day, all this shit comes down to one thing, and it's money, right? When it comes to big pharma, it's money. How much money can we make? How much can we scare the public? And then you have the media working with it too. I mean, I know we're starting to sound like we got tinfoil hats on, but I mean, look, guys, there's some things happening that are well out of what I'm
You're
aware of.
No, if anyone is fully bought in and fully trusts everything that the government and or news tells them, like, and here's the thing, you're going to believe in whatever politically aligned news that you watch. You're going to believe that, but then you won't believe the other politically aligned news outlet.
Right.
And it's like everyone needs to challenge their own thought processes. Like I firmly know that I'm not always right. But it took me a long time to get to that point and be humble enough to be like,
to respect an opinion that's
yeah,
right.
like that's like you might come with a different opinion than I have, but if I'm so locked into my own thought process,
I'm not gonna see that path.
then I'm not even gonna understand what you're saying. So if at least if I could listen to somebody or listen to a different opinion about something, basically where I want to go with all this is that nothing is to be fully trusted unless if it's like,
Personal experience.
somebody that you've like my friend group, like, and maybe even then, like I have like a little bit of a disposition of like I could throw the cleaver down on this chopping block, because sometimes my great friends that I've known for years and years, sometimes like we grow apart, and still I have respect and love for that person, but like, you know, so everything needs to be treated kind of with a level of uncertainty. Like right, you can't.
Like, do I put myself in your shoes, or, you know, like kind of that point where you're like there, or you see it from the third person? It's like, how do you feel? But do you feel it, or do you feel what this person is feeling? It's like, you can't do that.
So true, man. No, I think that's actually a really good perspective to bring up, because what we've seen through, even before the pandemic, I mean, we've seen political division for a long time. And what's crazy to me is that this pandemic was politically driven, right? You had different people on different sides of the spectrum going, well, we don't believe it. And then over here, it's like, you're an asshole. It's crazy to me how that got politicized. Like,
yeah, you know what? Let's go protest.
Let's go protest. Let's do whatever.
Next thing you know, they got masks at the protest, yo. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it really
do you believe in it or not? Like, what are you protesting if you have a mask on, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, we all kind of played by the rules a little bit. And I think the waters were tested. We learned what could we get away with? How were people going to respond? Mm-hmm. But again, 2.5 years later, I think that what we've learned is this shit ain't going anywhere, and there's always going to be something else coming down the pipeline, I feel like.
Like, no matter what happens, I'll still be here. Shit's going to go down around me.
Shit's always going to happen, right? I mean, people, unfortunately, you know, I read a statistic, and, you know, there's some sources to it, and we can post it after, but in 2020, there was like 454 deaths by assault rifles. 400,
yeah.
And 20,000... over 20K deaths from COVID vaccine.
I did read that shit.
Adverse reactions. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, I do have the sources to that, because people are going, where'd you hear that? Right. Where's you know?
Nah, motherfucker, that came in on the news every day.
Yeah.
You just missed it.
Credible sources there.
You were just on Netflix.
What I'm going to piggyback off that, I know I'm getting controversial on you guys now. I've been drinking.
Here we go.
We're trying to ban high capacity rifles.
Places.
Okay.
Oh.
It's not an assault rifle. It's only an assault rifle if you assault somebody with it. We're trying to ban these things, right? We're trying to take a stand against it. But we got over 20,000 deaths proven, and this is just 2020, right? 21, 22, we're starting to see a lot more. This shit is the real deal. But nobody gives a shit. Dr. Peter McCullough testified in Congress and said, look, over 40,000 deaths so far from COVID vaccine, adverse reactions, myocarditis, blood clots, you name it, right? And the going rate for any sort of vaccine or any new medical protocol that comes out is 50. 50 deaths, and they pull it. They say, we got to reevaluate. We've lost 50 people from it. We're over 40,000, according to Dr. Peter McCullough. That is the stat. Look it up. 40,000, and they're still distributing these things weekly and pushing it on people. But we're focused on assault rifles, right? Assault rifles that are killing a fraction of that amount, right? What is going on here? What are we focusing our energy on?
Okay, all right. No, I've already thought about this, so I need to jump in here.
Okay.
All right, I've already put a lot of thought into this, and the reason why gun control and that whole argument exists, why take firearms away from the people, why push a global pandemic that is fear-mongered amongst the people. It's population control. And if people, as in the citizens, cannot defend themselves and go ahead and form a militia and do something like defend yourself if you're getting attacked, right? Like, let's say that the government tries to come and take firearms, and they try to take firearms from people, then they're going to be in a situation. So if people don't have firearms and they want a major takeover that might be pandemic related, then you can kind of see where I'm going with that. Like, there's like this population control, and I'm not saying that any of this is facts. This is just me brainstorming on sci-fi stuff, being like, wow, this is it's a possibility.
It's a possibility. And that's your, right, everybody's opinion. That's you. I see that.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, how much do we want to trust all the pandemic fear-mongering? How much do we want to trust all the firearm fear-mongering? Like, yeah, people lose their lives every day, but here's the thing. like first like shootings be happening all around the world, and it's just like, okay, let's centralize on this, let's centralize on this, and like, yeah, it's a horrible event that happens when, you know, a shooter goes in and selflessly kills, you know, kids or families or whatever, you know, people going to a concert, whatever it may be.
Right.
However, like, there's so many people on this planet, and people are dying in different ways every single day.
And
like,
then that creates fear.
Yeah. Do you see all this stuff when like a teenage group of girls is involved in a head-on drinking driving accident, and like 4 of the 2 die, and like the other are paraplegics for the rest of their life? Where's the ban on booze? Why is there no ban on booze? You know, so it's like it's like they're fucking controlling shit. Like they're trying to nitpick and fucking choose what is acceptable, what you are allowed to do, and what you're not allowed to do. Like the whole thing is fucking, it stinks.
I did see that. I see that because now there's like, you know, there's like signs on the road that say "Welcome to Centennial," "Welcome to Inglewood," you know, "Welcome to Denver," and it says "Sponsored by IKEA," "Sponsored by this," "Sponsored by Starbuds."
I seen that
Some
one.
weed.
I seen that one.
Motherfuckers, what? Like you were just in jail for that.
I know. No, there's people still serving life right now.
That's what I'm saying.
For plants.
Yeah, for having some shit.
For plants.
Yeah.
Right. You have just a plant in your crib, and now you're fucking 20 years deep. Now you gotta serve.
It always tripped me out, man. When it comes to that, like going back to when it was completely illegal.
Oh, but these guys are promoting, or they're now they're sponsoring things. You know,
it's amazing
and
how
it's
things
like,
change.
Bro, if I want weed, this Starbucks is open.
Yeah.
You know, and back then, what the fuck? Police are looking for that.
Bro, I used to have to do like the shady deals in the alleyways,
right.
and like
I was
just trying to get some marijuana and
that's
shit.
What,
and I'd be like feeling hella sketch.
That's what my big brother says. He's like, bro, you're spoiled.
Yes.
You were 18 and you were able to just get it anywhere.
They didn't know the struggles, man.
Right, I did. Right, you guys were
bud.
fucking getting like an 8 like this just on the Apple or some shit. I was like, I got wax, I got fucking flour, I got everything in here, edibles.
I think it should all be legal, man.
Well, you're young, you know. Why is this so accessible? You know, it's like you're losing people, because I honestly got lost. I was, in high school. Next thing you know, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to fucking 5th grade. I'm gonna go get blazed. I'm gonna go smoke up. I don't want to go to class. What the fuck? So.
Yeah. And I mean, and that can be an issue. But one thing I want to drive and home a little bit further is this fucking shit. All right, like alcoholism has affected more families over the last since the 50s. I don't even know the stat. So many fucking families. How many families has assault rifles or armor light rifles, which they really are? How many families have those affected in those 50 years? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you look at that, you look at these type of stats, and then you look at what's trying to be canceled, what's trying not to be canceled,
right.
Like how are they trying to fucking control people? Well, what's one of the things? Look, if I'm boozing every day and I'm drinking my fucking bottles of bourbon and shit, like, am I going to have the capacity to stand up and defend my home if there was a takeover if I'm fucking drunk? Absolutely not. So that's population control. And how they're trying to, with all this gun reform shit, it's population control to take away something that we can actually use to defend ourselves with in order to, so like, I can go off on that whole topic.
I can see that.
I can go off on that.
The other day, there was like some commotion in my house, and I was like, I'm fucked up. Can I defend my house right now? Can I fuck this guy up? It's like, somebody's trying to steal. Am I just gonna fall back? What the fuck? I'm drunk, bro. Why is it so easy? It's like,
exactly, like when the population is inebriated, and I'm gonna give it to you next, Kev.
That's fine.
But when the population's inebriated, you don't have the means to even take care of yourself. You're drunk. You're not even able to take care of yourself. How are you gonna create a revolution or a movement to help the people be better? And it's like you want to try to ban guns and all this other shit when vaccines are killing more people than guns kill and shit like that. It's like, No wonder why YouTube fucking throttles our shit after we drop. That's how I feel, man.
Motherfuckers don't let you.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, unfortunately, we live in a time where misinformation and fact-checking has become fake.
And then anybody can fact check that shit.
Exactly.
You don't have...
It goes back to my peer-reviewed argument I made earlier.
Right.
Because what is fact to maybe the three of us might be an opinion to someone else.
It might be an opinion for somebody. Right.
It's It's crazy though how we're now in a time. I mean, there's too much information. That's the problem. I mean, when we really break down how we get here, there's too much information. There's too many people involved. There's too many eggs in the basket. Right.
And when you get to the back, it's like, bro, we already had this information. We know what to do. It's in the past.
Yep.
So why are we misinformation, or why are we misinformating the future? You know, this new generation. How about they stop being so, you know, I have a lot of people, so they think I'm part of the new generation. Personally, I don't feel a part, but, you know, people see it that way.
It's spoon-fed social media
Right,
addiction.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm not gonna feed into that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not the new generation. Either way, you know, that's what they're saying. They're going up to their first day of class with $200 shoes, $100 pants, $50 shirt, then what, $40 haircut. And you're going there, and then when I was in 6th grade for my first day, you know, I had 2-year-old shoes, fucking beat up pants full of mud that I just played outside in. It's like, what, you know, you can't do that. It's like, bro, how are you so separated from this? It's like, these guys are materialistic, you know, new form of materialism. Then we go with me, you know. I'm growing into that. I want more. It's like not enough.
But your value of what you want more of is probably a little bit different.
More
than
valuable.
Like I need new shoes. I need new kicks. Because here's the thing: is like when that becomes your central. And look, I'm guilty of that too. Like I've been treating myself a little bit. I'll get some nice fits, and like I feel good in that. However, for the longest time, it was never a priority for me. Like it was always about like, how do I treat people? Like how do I treat myself and respect my family?
Most important.
And when I say something, do I follow through on that?
Do I mean it? Do I want to go a week with this or a day with this, or is it forever?
Yeah. Here's my take on that thing, because I think you brought up a really good point, and it's something that I was actually talking to my brother about the other night, because he's a smart guy, and we kind of share some similar opinions on it. Materialistic stuff is, it's just that, it's materialistic, right? We all like buy nice things at times, right?
I want to have my nice clothes.
Yeah, we all do. I mean, I just bought $300 Ray-Bans. You know, I wear Cody James jeans. I mean, you know, not necessarily cheap stuff, right? But at the end of the day, right, me wearing all that stuff makes no never mind about the conversation we're having around this table right now. Zero. It doesn't change a damn thing.
Right.
It makes no difference of what you're going to offer.
I didn't know how much his shoes were. I don't care.
Yeah,
right.
Because it shouldn't matter, right? And I think a lot of folks now have kind of transitioned into,
like,
well, I paid more than you for what the clothes you wear, but what are you offering?
More. It's like, why are you more? What matters is what you bring in.
100%.
Whatever's inside, man. You can't have no, you know, over personality. Maybe I do have 5 personalities, but I'm just gonna show.
Me too.
You know, right?
I got that too.
Right. Like, I'm not saying, but like, you're always gonna show your true self. No matter what is always gonna be there. But you can't just hide that. Like, don't hide it in some expensive shit. Like, how about you
own it?
How about you own it? How about you you do whatever you always wanted to do? Play that guitar.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know. Then you can say, this is what matters to me. You know?
Yep.
That's what I do too. You know, I'm like, you know, what matters to me is this and that. And
Bro,
it's like, I own it.
You're hitting on some points that, like, that's what this podcast has driven home so often. Like, that's the shit that we want. And there's no right or wrong way to go about it, but it's like, dude, everyone's going to have to figure it out on their own and walk their own path, right? But that's it right there. You know, everyone's trying to find their own way. They want to be accepted. They want to experience life. But
maybe you like somebody, oh, they like black clothes. Now I'm wearing all black.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Whatever the case is, but like to your point, you know, playing guitar or going to experience something or taking classes and something that you're excited about.
Yeah.
That's what I think we need to focus on.
Changes your environment. Like something that makes you feel whole. Like
Makes
you
you
can't
feel
just,
alive.
right? You can't just hide in some fucking jackets or fucking Bottega boots and say this is me. Like that's
No,
not
exactly.
you, bro.
Well, because
they're
what it is,
feeding this into you.
You're
They're
put-
telling you that's cool,
Yep.
and you're. Here's my card.
Yeah, you're draping a cloak over what's going on inside, right?
Right.
You know, and I think when we peel back the layers of we talked about excelling in careers or maybe going to take a risk or doing something different in life, that's the type of shit that's going to add more life values, those moments, memories, and experiences
Well-
than buying my $300 Ray-Bans. They're nice sunglasses, but what's that going to do long term, right? I mean, it's just, it is what it is.
Well, that's what you say. The risk are what do, and if you do it, you do. But if you don't do it, that's where it goes. Then you have it in the back of your head, or maybe every day you go to work, you're thinking about it, and then you're like, I should have done this, I should have done that. No, you fucking wouldn't. How about you do it now?
And I
And
totally
that-
agree with that point.
That's what it is, you know. And maybe one day I was just thinking about how I could probably, you know, be good at, let's say, soccer, right? I'm like, you know what? I used to play that shit. I was good. How about I get back? I go to the court, start practicing. It's not going off. How about we practice more, you know? How about you improve on yourself, something you like, you know? It's like, you know, I can't express this enough. It's what your own art, that's what expresses you. That's what makes you. You can't just make it up. Like, people just, you know, Kanye drops these fucking ripped up shirts, look like fucking homeless. You know what? You're in. Why? Because you have the 2022 trending style. You know, it's like, bro, how about you get your own style?
Exactly. Why should that dictate somebody's character when they show up to an event? Like, let's say we're going to like a barbecue and you're meeting new people, and they're immediately like, "Oh, this dude's wearing whatever the hell you just mentioned,
Right.
Oh, he's already in."
Maybe Chanel or Balenciaga.
Yeah,
Stuff.
yeah. I mean,
Some expensive shit. I'm just naming brands.
Yeah.
trendy shit,
Trending brands.
right? And that's all well and good. It's nice to have nice things, right? At the end of the day, it's nice to have nice things,
Right.
but that does not dictate who you are underneath whatever that is.
That's what it is.
I mean, and that's what we've lost touch with so much. It's not about the appearance, so to speak. I mean, we've all heard that cliche. It's what's on the inside, of course.
Right.
But let's revisit that, right? What are you doing for society? What are you doing for yourself?
Right. What do you like to do? What do you do? What are you doing to take yourself out of that sadness that you were in, that depression, whatever you were going through? You don't need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about
too
mentality.
true. It's too true. And to put my 2 cents on this point and throw my pennies down, shit, I'm gonna throw a dime on this. But
You know what? Let
I
me throw
swear.
a fucking quarter.
you know, dog, we going silver dollar on this motherfucker. Give me the Sacagawea. All right. So here's the thing, though, man, is it's so true because what we're talking about is appearance, right? And I've talked to people of all sorts of appearances: skaters, construction workers, businessmen, car salesmen, fucking, you know, entrepreneurs, baristas, whoever it is. Like, if you actually sit down and have a conversation with somebody, there's going to be a lot of commonalities. Like, some people will be ridiculously stupid and self-absorbed. It doesn't matter what they're dressed like. And then other people will be open and caring and care about your conversation and context. And so I agree with that. It's nice to have nice things. However, that does not do anything
Define
toward who you actually are. You should know who you are, and you should be thankful for where you're at if you're in a position where you have nice things.
Yeah, that's where it goes. I mean, you know, I felt lately that maybe my personality wasn't what I wanted to be. You know, I was like, maybe I should, you know, not even improve. I didn't think about improving. That's what blocked my head. But, you know, I was just thinking about a different way of being myself and just forcing that. But that's not what it is. It's more about feeling yourself, letting it, you know, kind of like think of it. Really, just you. It's just you. And then after you're ready with yourself, then maybe you'll see somebody else. You'll find somebody else that can complement that. But it's not like you can. That's why it's like a two thing. You know, you have a wife. You know, whatever it is. it's always a two-way. You find somebody that's gonna compliment you. You have these bads, you have these rights, and then that person has the opposite. So then that's where it is. It's not like, you know. But if you want to stay single, you know, I'm not saying anything. Just like
no, you're saying a lot of things,
Yeah.
man. And I think one of the things you just said I agree with is you're bringing attention to something that you're like, you know, you kind of reevaluate. You said, you know, like my personality, I want to adjust it a little bit. Not necessarily that means you're going to try to be fake. You're just trying to hone in,
right,
and adjust.
right.
And I think that's a good thing because what that reflects on is working on yourself, something that we do a lot. Because we always have to continue to work on ourselves,
That's
right?
what it is. Like,
We got to take it in for an oil change. We got to tune this thing up. You know what I mean?
Well, this is a
Bro,
great
I get the
segue.
maintenance.
Great segue here, and I don't mean to cut you short, but I feel like we're already like kind of touching this. So every single guest that we have on, we like to ask one question. It's the only planned part of the show. So if you could give humanity one piece of advice so everybody on planet Earth could be better tomorrow, what would that piece of advice be?
shit. All right, that's good. I feel like for my personal experience, it's just like me. I just wake up every day and, you know, thinking about my future. Make things, you know, solid. Manifest what you want the day to be. Let's say I woke up today, Wednesday. I was like, you know, this is what I got going on. So I had things going on before you guys. I had to, you know, get in this fucking Microsoft Teams, whatever the fuck. So, you know, I was like setting my mind up, you know. I was like, you know what? I'll set this personality there, and then I'm gonna be as happy as I can at work. And then when I get off, I'm gonna go eat, this and that. Just visualize your life. See what's in front of you, and then things will just click. Things will click. Things will come together. Like, shit is not real unless you make it like a fucking map in your head. You know? It's like, you gotta see where you're going before you take that step.
I like that.
That's solid, man. You know, manifestation is such
Manifestation.
a crucial piece. You know, visualize the win, so to speak,
That's
right?
what it is. I think my girlfriend's scared of me because
She's scared of you because of it.
Bitch said, "Well, you manifested us together," and I was hella single. I just met her.
So what is hella single? That's like 5 years looking or some shit. what is that?
Right? Hella single. Right? Right. Not not having a partner for a while.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I can't wait to be hella single.
Throwing
I'm
it
like
off.
1 year single, and I want to get hella single before I find me a little something.
Being hella single is how you find yourself. That's what it is.
Yes.
Dude, it is though.
Once you find yourself, you can share that with somebody else.
Yeah.
That's true.
I broke up with my girl right when quarantine, and then, you know, I just started finding myself with hobbies. It's like, what the fuck? I like to draw.
Do shit.
That's
That's
what the
fantastic.
fuck? I like to make puzzles. What the fuck? You know, it was like something that you discover. It's like, I didn't have this free time, or I never thought about myself. It's like always what she wanted, or, you know, you feel stuck in a certain point.
True,
and
true.
just
It's funny how
like-
that works, isn't it?
right? And you're like, you know what? It's up to you now. Maybe you're limiting yourself. So now you got to take that step out of the way,
Yeah.
and then you grow.
It's amazing, man. Now you just hit on so many points there from your advice to humanity to, you know, finding hobbies and like doing you. There's such a value to that, you know. And I think that we've echoed on this a couple times in this program, of course, but it's important to no matter who you're
Get a
with.
Bud Light now.
You can
Yeah,
do Bud
help
Light
yourself, man.
Yeah, have a beer, man. You know, but I think it's important for you to find things that can fill your time without relying on your buddies or your girlfriend or your wife, husband, whoever, you know, whoever you are, whatever you identify as. You have the opportunity and the power to go out and own it at any moment. Do what makes you happy. You know, I will always firmly support that, regardless of what it is, controversial or not. I believe in personal freedom and liberty. Do what you want, but just own it. You know, just do it and don't expect anything in return
Put your
from it.
fucking name on that shit.
So
They
all that-
say, oh, that shit is trash. I made that. Don't take that shit back. I made that. Next thing you know, next month, whoa, who made that? I made that. You know, you're progressing. People notice. You're just gonna let them sleep. You don't have to tell them. You're doing your own thing.
Yeah. You're
People
out there
can
sending it.
people can sleep on you, whatever they want. You're making your money. You're making your fucking life up. There's no reason to tell anybody else.
It's a good point, man.
It's so true, man. Ignore the noise and participate in your day. I like your advice to humanity as far as being like, all right, this is what I have to do today. You didn't look at every single step, every single interaction you had, but you're like, all right, I got to be on and this type of energy right here. I got to wind down a little
That's
bit right
what it
here.
is. It's the level.
Yeah. So it's like break our days up, and I feel like that's great advice to humanity is break it up so then you could look at it in an organized fashion. Like, you know, I got to do this during these hours, so I need to come with this type of energy. You don't have to know every single step, every single interaction. You just have to know where you want to go, and then life will take you there, because that's how you ended your advice to humanity, was saying it'll like take you there or something along those lines. And I believe in that, man, because once you kind of you know where you want to lead the horse, but you let the horse run. Like, you're not running. You're letting the horse
You're
run.
not grabbing the reins. It's like, let's go here. And you said that 30 minutes ago. The fucking horse is going to forget we're already over here. It's like, no. You always have to have the same mentality you want to get to that mountain, to get to that peak, whatever climax you want. The fuck. But that's what it is. Keeping that straight up mentality. That's what it was with me, you know. I manifested this. I was like, a year, I clocked in to work. Everybody, you know, people really have bad days at my job. Trust me. And then they lose it. Next thing you know, everyone's their enemy. I'm new. The fuck? Next thing you know, I'm like, we don't want this bartender on Saturdays. I hate this bartender on Fridays. You know what? I want to be the bartender on Friday. I want to be the bartender on Saturdays. 6 months later, who's the bartender? Kevin, me. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you put that in front of you. You let people know. Well, you don't have to let people know. You let yourself know. Guide that way. Don't let her steer. Oh, there's this girl. Nah, nah. Yeah, let's have this girl. How about we add her into our mix? How about we squeeze it into our life? You know, we don't have to have separate lives. Like, this is all in it. Like, let's mix it up. Let's grow with what we get in the way. You guys don't have to put anything off.
I like it. It's great advice.
Yeah, it comes back to the full own it right there. You know, own it, manifesting what it is you want to do, put in the work, right? Collaborate with others. I mean, that's, we always have to coexist and rub shoulders with folks that might not share the same work ethics or desires or what have you. That's always going to be something we got to deal with. I mean, and it's probably unrealistic to expect that they're always going to be there. But the fact remains, we're in control of our own destiny, right? The only thing we can do is we can control what we can control as individuals. You're never going to be able to really control somebody else. And if you're trying to do that, well, you're already failing. Whether it's relationships, work, whatever, personal, focus on yourself. That's the thing. We got to get back in touch with ourselves, folks. Stop looking out on the outside for you know, encouragement, for reinforcements, for likes, comments, social medias, all that type of stuff.
Likes and comments. Let's go with that. What the fuck?
Yeah. Look, it's
meaningless.
People get addicted to it, right?
It is.
But it is meaningless. I mean,
it's addictive too.
I would say it's meaningless, but
think about it
doesn't
this way.
hold weight.
You're inviting, let's say I post a picture right now. 70 likes. Okay. Couple of comments. Then I go, oh, it's my birthday. Let's invite these 70 people. Who's going to come? 2. 2 out of the 70.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah, and that's the problem with the you know, the mainstream digital friendships. You know?
And that's what we were talking about earlier too. It's like these connections, these fucking, you know, like how we talk with each other. This is not happening in real life anymore. It's like, bro, now I can talk to somebody that's in fucking Florida. Next thing you know, I'm flying out to Florida. We meet. It might not be the person you're looking for, but you know.
That's weird, man.
It's too true. It's too true.
How about we keep it fucking simple and just meet in real life.
Live action.
Like,
doing this shit.
Like I was talking about, you know, me and my, you know, future. Whatever it is. Just my girl. It's like we met in real life. This is what's happening. Like, you know, there's no social media. There's no barrier. Like, we're just ourselves right in front of each other. we like what we see.
It's great.
So I mean, great episode. This was an awesome one. I mean, honestly, look, listeners, we talked about some things that maybe ruffled some feathers, but if you're really listening, then you're going to understand that we're only asking that you question what is being tried to be force-fed down our mental capacity of daily thought process. Let's actually get down to the root of individualism. What's important to us, what's important to you, only you know that. That's a question for you. And we can't be susceptible to media. I mean, sure, we are a piece of media, but we're also an opinion-based media, and we state that. So it's like, be careful of what you're allowing to control and dictate your behavior. And then let's also be really mindful of how we see our days. What are we actually trying to work for this week? So this week's challenge is actually going to be based off your advice for humanity. Okay. And the challenge for this week for everybody listening in is like, see every day through and be organized with these next 7 days and really just, all right, what am I trying to accomplish today? Who do I need to be for this day, for this moment in this day? I feel like that's excellent advice for people to become more organized and self-aware of what they are trying to accomplish. And, you know, this is how the conversation goes.
Yeah. Good advice there, Art. Good challenge for sure. You know, we did harp on some stuff, but I think it's really pulling back the layers. I think it's time for people to really reevaluate the information that they're taking in weekly. You know, you touched on the point that, you know, mainstream media kind of controls, it's an entertainment-controlled industry now. That's what it's turned into. That's what we are. We're an entertainment business, right? We're not experts. We're not experts in anything. We're just people hanging out, drinking beers, having fun. But this is the type of stuff that I think needs to get out there. People's opinions, expressions, you know, all of it. I mean, we need to get it out there, right? So I think at the end of the day, pull back the layers a little bit, reevaluate what works for you, you know, and don't trust everything that's thrown out there, right? And don't take anything at face value.
Yeah, see what's in you, and then if it's not in you, don't pick it up. You know, you see somebody else thriving off of that, just take advice. Be yourself, though. Never copy anybody. Just do yourself, and things will come together. I think you guys touched on it. I mean, we all touched on it. It's like, just be yourself.
Be yourself, man. It could be better said. It's time to get back to owning who you are as an individual. Yeah. Forget the filters. Forget all that stuff. Don't be afraid. I know we've harped on this for the last few weeks. Sit down and talk to folks that maybe don't share the same opinions with you.
Right.
Right. We've lost touch with that a little bit, and I think it's important to really bring that out again. Don't alienate someone just because they don't believe the same shit as you. I think that's nonsense. Yeah. I mean, there's reasons to alienate people out of your lives, but just because they share a different political belief or maybe they root for a different sports team, because that's how I look at it, nonsense.
Okay, now you got a point. Yeah.
Let's work together. We talked about this last week with Brian Sage. Let's work together. Yeah. Let's share these same beliefs or different beliefs and move forward, because we can't go back. We can only go forward. We're not looking to review. We're moving forward. How are we going to do that, guys? We got to work together. So let's focus on that.
And you know, 100% every single day that we let her rip tater chip, we believe and achieve, we own it, and of course,
you got to be good to yourselves because y'all deserve it. Kevin, thanks so much, brother, for coming down and hanging out, man, on such short notice. Cool guy. We're going to hang out, have some fun off mics. Appreciate you, brother. Cheers to
Honor
that.
having you, man. Honor
Turn
having
that
you.
up. Cheers.
Solid lads.
Boom.
Guys, we'll see you next week. We'll be back with you. We appreciate all the love and support for the Discussion Combustion podcast. Real quick, I'm just going to tease something that we're working on with John Ekstrom. Y'all have heard of him in Denver, Colorado, Denver's best podcast for several years. We're going to be launching a show with this guy on another network. We're going to tease it a little bit. More to come on that. Stay tuned.